For this anime tutorial, I'm gonna show you how I made magic anime procedural effects. The anime scene consists 5 procedural anime effects. So right off the bat, the first one we're going to make are the grounds. For the background, add a plane, cut it into many parts, widen it, then add a little bit of imperfection. Then Control 1 to subdivide it, to make it a little bit smoother. Now next is the material shade. So to do this, it's very simple. All you need to do is principal BSDF material output, put a noise texture, then Control Shift right click to see the preview. Voronoi texture, going to mix these two. Then as you can see from the main scene, I'm just recreating this once again so you can see the full process. So as you can see, noise texture plus Voronoi texture looks like this, but this is not done yet. What we need to do is adjust the scale to like something 40 so you can see the ground or the foreground looks much better. Then scale this. Lastly, what we can do next is to add a color on it. So we need a color ramp. Connect the color of the color ramp, the color or the base color of principal BSDF to surface. Now let's adjust the color. The scene is color red, right? So we need to make this color red as well, like this. Then copy this, Control C, paste it on here, Control V, then make this lighter. And the saturation, lessen it. Now we have a ground of our main scene. Then if the sun affects the color of this object, just set the specular to 0. Now we have a standard color of our ground. Next, for the procedural background, plane again, put it a little bit far away, more. Why? Because the light might affect the color of the plane later on, so we need to put a little bit far. And lastly, for the background to material shading, principal BSDF material output, we're going to change this but principal BSDF into noise textures one again. Noise texture. Why? Because if you're making a procedural, I always make the texture first to see the preview of it. Next, noise, then Voronoi once again. Voronoi. You can see this texture like that. Color ramp here as well to control the color values of it later on. Then mix. Now it's look like this. So we need an end color of this, so which will be color red, as you can see in the main scene, right? So to make this color red, then simply turn this into red. But we're not done. We need to multiply this. Why multiply? So the two textures will combine onto top of each other. Then one is completely combined. Multiply, then one. Then as you can see here, looks like this. So we're almost right. Then now this is the magic. So before that, we're just going to scale this a little bit first. Make it 4D to control the vector. So we're gonna scale this like this. Then another Voronoi. Why? Because the magic will come here. Voronoi. Connect distance to vector or D once again. See, you can see the magic already. Then you can have many possibilities here. Chebyshev, Volsky. So in this project, it's Chebyshev. Then we're almost done at the background, right? Halfway to it. We're just going to save the file. Alright, don't forget that. Then force mapping, Control T. Now you can control a little bit size of this. Okay, looking good. The animation of this will be later on. So let's finish the tutorial first. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay, then of course we need gradient. Gradient is very important in this one. Gradient, Control T, add the color ramp on it to control the value. Connect this. Okay, connect this color to fact. Then color ramp. Once again, we need a combiner, so we need this one again. Now, as you can see, the black part, the blackish area is on the left side, so we just need to control this one. Let's flip it, -90. Make sure it's on linear. Then let's control some of the values here to make the bottom red, then the upper a little bit more black. This is to make it smoother, something like that. And this one also. Now, we have a cool background, right? Otherworldly background, magic universe. So the last part is the animation, which is very simple. Frame, maybe 20. This is so fast. Divide it to a higher number, maybe 100. Still fast, probably 500. Good. Then maybe adjust the scale of this because it's a little bit big. Okay, this is looking good. You can also animate the black area there in the noise texture. Make it 4D. Then maybe put a very high number here, probably 1000. Now, we have a cool background, right? Next, for the magic effects. It's very simple. So, add a mesh, circle, tab, edit mode, F to fill it out, then focus on this one. Focus on this one, it's very simple. Just press the slash button on your keypad. So, you can see this is circle, right? So, this is very simple. So, this will be the like wizardly magic effects, where the wizard cast a spell with the circle thingy magic. So all you need to do first is, of course, if you're talking about effects, we need a transparent right off the bat. Connect this one with emission. So we need to connect the emission transparent into the material output. Make shader. Now we can set the factor of this into a color ramp, which we'll be using later on. Then let's set the emission to red already, to 100. Then go to material properties, make it alpha blend to see the transparency. Okay, now we have a color red, so make sure to open the bloom also in the render properties to have the glow effect in EV. Next, we need this one. The next important thing in this effect is a texture once again. So add a Voronoi texture, distance to factor. There's still no, so we can still see a thing, Voronoi. Then add another Voronoi. Why? Because it will combine the textures into a mathematical, some formula that will make it pretty cool. Set this to 4D. Now let's check it. It's okay. Going on there. Smooth F1. Set this to, it's up to you, but as of now, let's set it to Manhattan. Now there's a pattern going on here, mathematical pattern, which we'll be using it later. Then we need a math node, a multiply, and pick the value of the math node, color ramp, color to value. Then as you can see, if you adjust the value, there will be a pattern. Then gradient texture, let's add a gradient texture here, set to spherical. Now we need to map this. Control T, wait a minute. So let's map this into object, and the vector of this is also connected to the object, so it will be on the middle. Now we have a cool effect right going on here. So what we need to do next is to animate or adjust the value, right? So it's very simple. Or you can make other patterns, like set this into Euclidean, or maybe Manhattan, Chebyshev, see, Minkowski. See, this pattern is very cool, right? Just adjust the value if you don't want to make it so complicated. And lastly, you can rotate this thing for the, or animate it starting from small to bigger while rotating. You can do that. Here's another example what I made. So as you can see, what I made here is, instead of circle, I use a cube or plane. Now as you can see, it looks very good, right? As well as this one. So you can try many different patterns on this one, but you can also manually make different objects on it, so you can control it better. So as you can see, I also put a Japanese text on it, so to make it cooler, right? We're almost done on the magic anime VFX. So what's next is tornado or the red particle effects. So all we need to do is add a circle, F, extrude, scale, extrude to Z, smooth, Then set the blend mode to alpha clip. Check the backface column, meaning you can only see the front part. Then remove the shadows. Now, add the transparent. Connect these two. Add the color ramp to adjust the value of the noise texture. Add the color ramp to adjust the value of the magic texture. Connect the color to the factor of the color ramp. Connect the color to the color of the transparent SDF. Now, you can see the effects going on with this. Magic texture. Scale this a little bit. Control T. Then make this is flip. Then you can adjust it like that. Now, as you can see, you can animate the location of this into Z axis or Z axis. So let's animate it from bottom up. Frame negative value, maybe 100 is fine. Then the rotation, maybe 50s or 100 is fine as well. Now we need to set the emission of this one into a very high value. Why? You can see it in the one. If you set the emission strength to like 50, it's color red. But if you set to like 200, it will be color white. But the bloom effect of the particles is color red, which is better, right? So you can animate that, maybe make it a bit smaller. Then adjust this a little bit. Now we have particle effects. Lastly is the wind effects. So this is pretty easy. Lastly, the wind lines effects. So this is pretty easy. Plane, make it into a vertical rectangle. Then cut it to make it a little bit more randomized. Control 1 to subdivide it a little bit. Control 2. No, Control 1 is enough. Smooth. Now, let's get into the material shader. So, in order to do this, of course, we need to make it alpha blend, right? Remove the shadow. Now, transparent once again. Transparent, connect it to the principal BSDF. As you can see, it's already transparent, right? Maybe I'm going to bevel this a little bit. Now, add a noise texture, simple as that. Now you can see the wind is going to be transparent. Now you can see the effect is already there. Control T, okay. Then add a color ramp. By the way, before finishing this effect, let's set the world color into color red. Why? Because if it's color yellow, the wind or the transparent will be also color yellow. But if the world color is red, it will affect it as well, which is very important here. Now, what's left is, let's set this value. Now, you have a wind-like effect. Simple as that. So, in order to remove the black area there, maybe make it more transparent, then adjust this one. See? Then, let's make it a little bit more thinner to make it more realistic. Animate the Z location, maybe into 25. Now, you have wind effects. So we're done. So lastly, The character and composition can be done in the compositing tab, and the character is 2D. So lastly, now that we've done the effects, what's left is the character, which is 2D, and 3D objects, rocks and grasses. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and there will be more tutorials, VFX, compositing, 2D animation, how to make your own character, 3D characters, 3D trees, and many much more. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching once again.